Alright guys, I just watched The Gathering. So I'm taking the advice of someone on YouTube, and I'm going to watch a couple of the movies, which they told me I should watch at this point, and then I'm going to get to season 5. Anyway, The Gathering is the pilot, basically, that I just never watched, and so it's not really full of new information, exactly, because it's all stuff that I either already knew or which was never relevant, like never got brought up again, because I guess they just decided that was stupid or whatever. Some of the characters are different. Let's see, there's this Dr. Kyle, who is the doctor before Franklin, who gets a look at Kosh, what's inside Kosh's encounter suit, which is interesting. The first officer of the station is a woman named Laurel Takashima, who is never mentioned again. And Sinclair's got this girlfriend who has she has a ship. I don't know, she hauls freight or something. Also never mentioned again, I guess. Just interesting. Some of the makeup is different. There's a number of characters that aren't here, but that's okay. They're all not like the main characters are all here except for Ivanova and Franklin, basically. Lita's here, which is kind of fun. The basic plot is that Kosh comes to the station for the first time, and somebody tries to kill him, and they framed Sinclair, so there's an investigation trying to figure out who really did it. And there's a whole bunch of nonsense. It was fun, though. I enjoyed it. It was good to see Sinclair again, my old buddy. And Garibaldi being himself and having hair, always a good thing. And so, I don't know, it was just, I enjoyed it. I don't feel like there's a ton of stuff to say here. Let's see. Jakar is sort of wonderfully the villain in this piece, which is lots of fun. Delenn has magic rings. In case I thought after watching season 4 that the show couldn't possibly have more oblique references or obvious references to Lord of the Rings. She has magic rings. But that never gets mentioned again, so whatever. There's this wonderful bit where Sinclair talks about the Battle of the Line and just how crazy it all is. So I guess I take from this that everyone was kind of like, oh, let's just pretend we won that battle. Let's just tell everybody we won that battle, and that's why we won the war. Even though, of course, that's not what really happened. The Minbari just were kind of like, we surrender, and we're not going to tell you why. And the bad guy turns out to be a member of the warrior caste. It's always fucking Minbari being dicks all over the place. So that's fun. I got a big kick out of Londo's turn in this. He doesn't really do that much except, like, talk a lot about how the entire Republic used to be really great. So he's actually just sort of depressing. Even when he's being all like, I'm gambling, it's fun. It's like, no, your life is, you make me sad. But it's just, I just think his relationship with Garibaldi is just very funny to me, because he's just kind of like, did I tell you about that time that this happened? And Garibaldi's like, yeah, like 5 times, please stop. And for some reason Londo gets to do the opening narration. What else is worth mentioning? I don't know, I thought it was fun. It was fun, it was entertaining, it made for a good, hour and a half of television. I mean, as far as TV movies go, it was pretty good. It's pretty solid. It set up this strange universe, and you know, and it makes you want to explore it. Or maybe that's just me. Yeah. So I guess next I'm going to watch In the Beginning, I think. I'll have to look at the YouTube comment again and see, but I think In the Beginning was definitely one of them, so that sounds fun. In the Beginning. Yeah, so it was interesting, and it was good to see Sinclair, my buddy Sinclair, and his stupid face. Jesus. And he quoted Tennyson at the end, which was nice, and they had a proper little reception for Kosh. It was kind of funny, because they're all like, oh, let's greet Ambassador Kosh, and they're like clapping as he walks in, and he's just sort of like looking at them, and I'm imagining that Kosh is thinking, I will never come to another diplomatic event again. It's like you got to meet me once, now I'm never speaking to any of you again. I have to be more enigmatic. He doesn't say anything throughout the entire episode, which was kind of amusing to me. But rather typically Kosh, really. I mean, of course he was out of it for most of it, but still I sort of thought at the end maybe he'd say something, but nope. I guess the only other thing I was going to mention was that at the party at the end, Londo was wearing a cape, which makes me happy because I love capes. And I was like, he never wears capes on the show. Probably because at some point somebody was like, you can't wear a cape, dude, because somebody's going to realize you're doing a weird Dracula accent, and then you'll have to stop. Anyway, I guess that's really all I have to say about that. So, I am looking forward to more because it's just lots of fun. Yes. Alright, well, I finally fucking watched In the Beginning. Oh my goodness, what do I even say about that? Wow. I have no words. I've spent the last couple of weeks just like being really obsessed with Star Trek, so it's kind of hard to get back into B5 and be like, oh, I care about this, even though they're all no Vulcans. Okay. I don't know, I mean, it's like a prologue, and that's cool to see how some of the characters were involved in the battle. Well, the whole thing is about the war between Earth and Minbar, and like how it got started and how it finished, and Sinclair's stupid face was on my screen again. A little bit. I mean, I was like, is he going to be in this though? And then he was a little bit at the end in the Battle of the Line, and I freaked out because it's Sinclair. And I'm trying to figure out why I love Sinclair so much. Like, could somebody explain this to me, please? What is it about him? But, you know, I was thinking while I was watching, I was like, okay, so what is the reason? And I think the reason is because there was that one episode in Season 1 where he, like, logicked a robot into killing itself or something, which is one of my favorite things in the universe. And so it just kind of made me be like, you're actually really awesome, Sinclair. You want to be like best friends? So that's all you have to do. If you're like a leader character in a starship involving show, yeah, a science fiction show, you have to logic a computer into killing itself, and then you're my favorite. Anyway. Yeah, and like Franklin's in this, and Sheridan. So Franklin and Sheridan and Jakar all go to this planet, and they're supposed to like talk to this Minbari guy. But unfortunately, okay, can we talk about the fact that apparently Londo is just the worst person ever and has caused all of the problems in the universe? No, not really, but he's like, I mean, he did tell the humans, he was like, don't go fucking with the Minbari, you can't handle that. And the humans were like, we're going to anyway. Like idiots. Okay, the framing device. The framing device of this being that it's Londo telling these two adorable Centauri children sort of like little alien children that makes them so much cuter than human children. What is it? I don't know. But anyway, this story, he's telling the story to them. Okay. And he's like the emperor, and he's old, and the city is burning, and they don't say why ever. Like, are we ever going to find out? And, oh my god, the way it ends, though. Finally, they leave. He's done telling the story. They leave. And then they reveal that this is happening during that one episode with the time travel. So, like, he's actually got old Delenn and past Sheridan locked up in the cell somewhere, and they're going to have that scene where he's drunk and they get brought in, and he lets them escape, and then Jakar comes and kills him. So he's literally going to die in like an hour. And it just makes me be like, but I thought we fixed that timeline. I thought the ending wasn't going to be depressing as fuck. But I guess, you know, it still is. It's just going to be depressing. Yeah. Oh, it was fun to see Ivanova and her brother, who I'm pretty sure dies horribly. Like, I think I remember that being a plot point at some point. Oh my goodness. I don't know. It was just pretty intense, and there was a lot of like Delenn and Ducat. Can I just say, like, I would listen to the guy who plays Ducat say anything, because his accent is, I think it's German. I read somewhere it was German. I love it. It's so great. I don't know, man. It was a good time. No, it was cool to see. And yeah, I mean, it's just fun to see the characters when they're younger, when they're, you know, not themselves yet. And seeing Sheridan, I guess, was sort of the main character of this, as close as it came to having one. Well, I guess, I mean, Londa really was. But he wasn't really involved in the story that much. Like, he only really showed up in it once. So, well, twice. Yeah. But I don't know, just Sheridan, him taking command of the, I guess that was the Agamemnon, and just figuring out how to destroy that one Minbari ship, that was really cool. I was like, yes, Sheridan to the wind. Also really interesting that he had a chance to be on board the Prometheus, which was the first ship to encounter the Minbari ship and start the whole problem. Because you kind of wonder if he'd been there, might it have gone differently? Or maybe he just would have died. And everything would have gone differently. Oh, and there's so much greatness. Like, the Vorlons are hanging around, being all like, we need the humans are important. Okay, so now I talk about the human souls thing, or the Minbari souls thing. So basically, they don't know that Sinclair is actually Valen, so they just think he's like some reincarnation of Valen or something, which is why he makes the triangle thing glow. So it just kind of makes me wonder, the way that they interpret it isn't necessarily right, because they just think he's got Valen's soul. So if they caught any other human, they would have just been like, whoa, and none of that would have happened. So, I don't know. Good luck. You know, good job they picked Jesus fuck, Sinclair. Why? Will someone please explain to me why their names have to be so fucking similar? Ugh! Okay. So I enjoyed that. Space battles! And just like how close humanity came to getting wiped out completely by the Minbari, it's kind of like, you're like, wow, I'm surprised that humans would ever want to associate with Minbari in any fashion after that. You'd probably just be like, I'm not living on the same fucking station as you guys. You're all psychopaths. But, whatever. So, next I'm going to watch, I think it was Timescape, whatever movie it was the guy on YouTube recommended I also watch at this point. So, I have no idea what that one's about. I mean, I knew The Gathering was the pilot. And I knew In the Beginning was probably a prequel thing, because, like, the title. But, and, yeah. And I just hope at some point we find out why Centauri is burning. It makes me sad. It's like, but it's probably those, like, horrifying shoulder aliens. But, you know. Also, what's possessing Mondo? Okay. Enough. But just, why does the end of his story have to be depressing? Why? I like him. Okay. I'm gonna go now. Alright. Well, I just watched Third Space, which means I can finally go watch season 5 now. Jeez. Sorry. But, so that happened. I don't know. And it was alright. I didn't really dig it, though, you know. It was okay. But yeah. Oh God, what do I even have to say about it? Not that much. I don't know, it was just kind of dumb. And then I was wondering, like, if the thing could telepathically influence people in the station to fight, why wasn't it telepathically influencing, like, anybody in the ships to, like, fuck stuff up? Like the people in the little X-Wings. Okay, Star Furies. They don't really look that much like X-Wings. Just the X bit. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, no. But they didn't, so that was weird. I don't know. And then, like, oh, it's convenient, none of the main humans were really affected. Like, Ivanova had a weird dream, and that was about it. I mean, because Lita was, but poor Lita, she gets brain fucked by everything, you know. Plus, also, I guess it wasn't really the thing, it was, like, the Vorlons that were messing with her, because it's always the Vorlons. Poor Lita. You're a mess. So I actually watched this over the course of, like, a week, so, maybe a little hazy on some of the earlier stuff, but there was a wonderfully long, awkward elevator scene, yes. Which was very silly, because it was like 5 minutes long. It was like Zach asking Lita out, and she's, like, completely not paying any attention because she's in, like, Vorlon trance mode, and she's gonna go, you know, mess some stuff up, but it was just really funny, because the whole time he's talking to her, she's zoned out, and he never notices. I was like, Zach, honey, pay attention. She's not listening to you. So, you know, but that was amusing. So, I guess I ship it. We'll see if it ever goes anywhere, because he did say he was like, alright, I'll never bring it up again, but then it's like, you'd think, like, later he would realize that she was out of it, so probably that she didn't even, like, remember that they had a conversation, or that he'd talked at her about that. But, so this is, like, supposed to be set right after they finish the Shadow War, but before they start, like, really dealing with Earth's martial law and everything. So, yeah, for the rest of Season 4, this never gets brought up again. But that's alright. I don't know, it was just kind of like, oh, look at this, it's a weird portal to the beyond, and there's Eldritch abominations living in there. I mean, they were kind of cool looking, but we didn't get to see them for very long. Oh, so I guess not that smart, because you'd think they would have figured out Sheridan and left a bomb and tried to do something about it. But instead they were just like, a blue blue. So, I don't know, it happened. Veer was in it, that was nice. I miss Veer. But he was in it. But yeah, now I'm just looking forward to Season 5, because, well, because I am. Because to get back into the show proper. But yeah. that's just really all I have to say off the top of my head. I mean, if I were a good, proper reviewer, I would probably take notes, but I'm not, so I don't. Anyway. Whatever. Until next time.